Hey guys, I'm back with a new video. I know it's been a while since I've done a new video, about maybe 2 or 3 months since my last one, but I've just been very busy with work and other stuff going on, so I just haven't had much time to do a new video. But I decided to make some time to do a new video, especially during this time of the year. I mean, it's Halloween season after all. My favorite time, of course. And I will also mention that I did see the new Halloween movie, and I actually really did like that movie a lot. It was great. So if you're a fan of the Halloween series or a horror fan in general, this movie will definitely please you. If you haven't seen it, go out and check it out. I highly recommend it. So I'm going to be doing a new kind of video. I'm going to be doing a ranking video. This is going to be my first ranking video, and I hope to do more in the future. So, I've seen a lot of people do ranking videos of like Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Nightmare on Elm Street. But I'm going to be doing like a different kind of one, like going to be doing one on a werewolf series, which I'm a fan of. I like this series. Well, some of the movies in the series, I will say. And it's the Howling series, and this was a challenge because some of these movies aren't really that good. So, without further ado, I'm going to rank the Howling series from worst to best. Number 8 is Howling 7, New Moon Rising. What can I really say about this one? This one was just terrible. I mean, this one, the thing is, when they made these movies, like the first and second Howling movies were the only ones that were connected. After that, there was a standalone Howling movies, but this one decides to take all those standalone Howling movies and connect all of them like they were apparently connected the whole time, like saying things like, hey, remember this character from this Howling movie? Or remember that character from the other Howling movie? Apparently they were the same character this whole time. So they spend more time just connecting all the standalone movies together instead of focusing on a story. And also there wasn't really much werewolf activity going on. You don't really see the werewolf till the end of the movie, and once it happens, it's over. And there's also some country music scenes which made you think am I watching a Howling movie? What am I watching here? So this was a very boring entry in the series, and it's just a terrible movie in general. It's the worst one in the Howling series. I also consider it to be one of the worst horror sequels and one of the worst sequels in general. I would even go as far as to call it even one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Number 7 is Howling 4, the original Nightmare. This one I thought was terrible as well, because there wasn't really much werewolf activity in this one either. There was just a little more in this one than 7, so it's got that over 7. But in general, it was just boring. It was just pretty much a low-budget remake of the first movie. And it's really one I just did not enjoy at all. Number 6 is Howling 3, The Marsupials. I'll admit this one's a little bit laughable bad. It's kind of guilty pleasure vibe to it, but overall it's a very weird movie. It's one that I was scratching my head while watching. I was thinking, what am I watching here? So it's got a bit of a cheesy value to it, but it's kind of overall weird, forgettable movie. I do like this poster though, so the poster in general is better than the movie. Number 5 is Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf. I'll give this one just a little credit with the fact that it was actually connected to the first movie, but in general it's just not really a good movie. I don't really like the looks they gave the werewolves because they just drastically changed the look. They looked more like just people in gorilla costumes. I did like Christopher Lee though, so I'll give it credit with that as well. But the funny thing is that Christopher Lee actually, when he did Gremlins 2, he apologized to Joe Dante, the director of the first Howling movie, for doing this movie. But I also read that he only did this movie because he never did a werewolf movie before in his entire career. Before he did he did vampire movies, mummy movies, Frankenstein movies, but never a werewolf movie. So he did this so he can finally do a werewolf movie, and I believe this is the only werewolf movie he's ever done. I'll say though that this does have a bit of a guilty pleasure vibe to it, so it's kind of got a so bad it's good vibe to it as well. It's kind of like Troll 2 a little bit, so it's one you can laugh at while watching, just laugh about how bad it is. I will also say another thing I did not like is the werewolves doing this dark magic, because, I mean, why do werewolves need dark magic? They can rip people's limbs off, they can cut them all up with their claws and teeth. They don't need that. I do have the Scream Factory Blu-ray as well. Number 4, Howling 6, The Freaks. So, this one was a bit of a weird one too, but it's not really a bad movie per se though. I mean, I did like some of its practical effects. I did like its story of like, of like these people in a like, in a creep show in a carnival. I did like, of course, the werewolf transformation, all done with practical effects. So, and of course also I did like the werewolf vampire fight at the end. So it's not that bad of a movie. I'm not saying it's good either, but it's not that bad though. So, in general, it's an okay movie. Number 3 is The Howling Reborn. So, I thought this was an okay one as well. I mean, I did like the looks of the werewolves. I mean, I did like that they used practical effects for the werewolves, having people in suits, but the transformation, like, you don't really see transformation. You only see it once, and it's just CGI. So, I mean, the actors did a pretty good job, though. So, I'll give it that as well. But, I mean, I wasn't really too fan of, like, the villain in this one. I mean, the villain, I felt kind of was a bit generic. I did like the 2 leads, though. And, what's her name? Lindsay Shaw, who was in a Nickelodeon show. Ned's Declassified, so she was pretty good. So, it's an okay movie for what it is. Number 2, I'm picking up this DVD again because it's got 2 Howling movies. It's Howling 5, Rebirth. The Rebirth. I mean, I thought this one was actually pretty good for what it was as well. I really did like the castle setting. I did like the atmosphere. And I also did like, some of the gore effects, like, having people's throats all ripped up. I did also like the look of the werewolf, even though you don't see it that much in the movie. But it made up for it with, like, its story. It's, about, like, trying to find out who the werewolf is in this bloodline. And, like I said, I did like the castle setting, the atmosphere, claustrophobic environment. The only thing I didn't really like was the acting. The acting was pretty bad. And number 1, of course, is the Howling movie. The very first one. I mean, this one, what can I say? I mean, I really do like this one a lot. It's one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time. I really do like the story in this one, how, like, this married couple goes out into the woods, basically, like, this little trip out in the woods, and they find out, like, the people who live around there are actually werewolves. Dee Wallace, who's the star of this one, who you may know from E.T. or Cujo, she was great in this movie. Joe Dante, who was the director, did a very good job. I really did like the werewolf transformation effects. They were, I think, like, Rick Baker, like, had, like, a hand in the transformation effects. I'm not 100% sure. I think he did, like, some of the effects. Like, they were just amazing. All done with practical effects. Like, and it was from the 80s too, so it looked like it was actually way ahead of its time with those effects. I also, like, did like the werewolves' looks themselves. Like, they got, like, really tall actors in suits. And in general, like, it's overall, like, it's a great werewolf movie. it's the best one in the series, but that's not really saying much since this series had some pretty bad entries. And I think that's really all I gotta say. Like, you know, I like the I just like the movie in general. And I also do have the Scream Factory Blu-ray as well, with new artwork. Have a poster as well. And I also do get their limited edition steelbook, because I'm a collector. Don't judge me. So, I hope you enjoyed my first ranking video. I hope to do more of these in the future. If you'd like to see me do more ranking videos, just leave me a comment right in the comment box down there. So, like, you know, just let me know which series you'd like me to rank. But, I'm going to say this right now. I am not going to rank Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, or Hellraiser. Reason being is because I've seen a lot of people doing ranking videos for those 4 series. And so I just don't want to, like, you know, do the same ones over and over again. So if there's, like, you know, maybe like a series that's just got, like, even just 3 or 4 or 5 or more, just let me know. I'll do a ranking video of those. And see you later. Bye.